What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother-loving geek nation? Thank you so much for joining us and tuning into the Knights of the Old Republic CultPop podcast, episode 24. Now, here's the deal.
825.
Through the wonders of time travel, we have pre-recorded this episode.
So we're in your... It's our past, your future, so deal with it.
Now, that being said, still comment below because we will be in the chat commenting. We won't be able to read them and get back to you on air, but we will be in the chat hanging out with you. So feel free to comment, and we will still be hanging and doing the whatnots. I will probably be wearing less pants. We're coming to you not live, pre-recorded from the Video Content Factory. Hey, Terry.
Hey!
This place is great. Thanks for putting it together.
You're welcome. I really appreciate it. And it's Star Wars time!
It is! But first, with me tonight, this is Terry.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Terry with the Video Content Factory. We're doing lots and lots of podcasts now, including pre-recorded versions as well that still go out as live live here in studio with the amazing Dylan, the podcast boy.
Yes, also with us, our son, the voice of reason.
What's the deal, your man, a.k.a. Jedi Master Check 1, 2. We in the joint.
Also Noel. Hi, Noel.
They can't shake me. I'm here forever.
Oh, I see. And behind the camera is our intrepid producer, Dylan, the podcast boy.
Hey, yo, what's up?
Man.
Before we get to it, comment. That's the whole thing. Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. You know all the rigmarole. Main topic time. We're getting right into it. Mandalorian happened today for us, last week for you. Episode, was it 8?
8.
Episode 8, Season 3, the finale of the
Chapter
Season
24.
3. Holy cats.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
you're right, you're right.
8 times 3.
Math.
After the fall of the Galactic Empire, a lone gunfighter makes his way through the outer reaches of the lawless galaxy. Starring Pedro Pascal, Katie Sackhoff, Carl Weathers, and Grogu. Since this episode
excuse me.
Huh?
You forgot somebody.
Oh,
Giancarlo Esper motherfucking Zito.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
I was like, Pedro Pascal's voice?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Since this episode is airing a week after the premiere, let's talk about the season with full spoilers, y'all.
We're going the season ended an hour ago for us, but
Yeah.
for you guys, it was a week ago, so we're going full spoiler, not going to hide anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into it. Oh, are we just doing the episode or are we doing the season?
I would like to do, do you want to segment it? Episode and season? Or just,
Absolutely. What do you want to start with? Episode.
Run the room.
Hey, I'll tell you what. How have you enjoyed, Terry, how have you enjoyed The Mandalorian as a whole experience?
I didn't enjoy this season as much as previous seasons for a very specific reason that I'll get into later. But I enjoyed 50% of the Mandalorian story. Let me back up.
You're doing great.
I enjoyed 50% of the Mandalorian.
70%
Season
of the
3.
time, it's good. 4% of the time. Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah.
But this one was okay. This one I really struggled with getting through this entire season. It pushed me off early in a big bad way, in a very specific episode, unfortunately. And it was really hard to get back on. I had to take... there was a lot of weed involved in getting through The Mandalorian. It was really the only way I could do it this season. Stakes were a little interesting. The world got real big, and I think the beauty of this show since episode 1 was a father and son.
Yeah.
Spoiler. You know, that's the story I signed up for. That's a story that I think it works the best when they're telling that story. And I think in this season specifically, the rest of the stuff didn't work as well as it did previously. Like, I was okay with I liked the show when it was these two guys are going to do things. Some of them will be side quests, but it's these two guys doing it, right? Yeah. Because I love the beautiful story of Lone Wolf and Cub, you know? That's kind of what I signed on for. I think some of the spin-off and things were cool, but... I mean, the writing was really on the wall when Boba Fett came out, not to kind of backtrack. They tried to have that be a little bit of Mando Season 3.
Yeah.
And that was the only part we enjoyed. So they almost did the reverse in that show.
want.
You put those two, you put the big dude in the middle and the little baby together, I'm watching. You take them out.
I still struggle with, if we're going to talk about Boba Fett really quickly, I still struggle with the impetus. Well, I want to know what the impetus for that show is.
Agreed.
Like, production-wise and logistic-wise, why did they do a season of Boba in between to just really be a backdoor, like, plot device for the characters you really care about, which we didn't know about until halfway through. And then it was like...
Ahsoka, I believe.
The
Ahsoka episode is in the Boba Fett thing.
The entire ordeal almost feels like... Yeah, there's a whole...
Yeah. Ahsoka was in Boba Fett?
Yeah.
I thought that was
because
in
it was
season
like,
2 of...
No,
Mando.
She was introduced in season 2 of Mando.
Oh, okay.
She was with the child and
Luke.
Right.
There's a Mando season 2.5 that takes place in
That's
Boba
what I
Fett.
mean. Like, it's like, so Pedro Pascal
You're right.
is out making another show, so we want to progress the story. We don't want to go 2 years without having something.
Yeah.
So let's reverse engineer a whole other thing with just the time that we have this one guy, which was...
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I enjoyed...
Fucking yay, dude.
I enjoyed-
That's more goddamn
Yeah.
Star Wars.
No, hang on.
Give
Let me
all
finish.
that shit.
Let me finish.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one, though.
I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
As a whole, I enjoyed it. But it was hard not to see the seams of how some of it was developed in desperation.
Yeah,
as
and I think
opposed
that,
to
the reason I brought
new
it
and
up
more,
is
you know what
that
I mean?
the Book of Boba Fett was the writing on the wall for me not enjoying Mandalorian season 3 as much as I did 1 and 2.
Right.
In that it's like, okay, you know that thing where we go away from these two characters that we really didn't do in season 1 and 2?
Yeah.
No.
Here's a whole season of that. And it fell flat for me because I didn't have the connection.
Right.
Then in season 3, we do that a lot. And I really don't have connection with a lot of those characters.
You know what the season didn't have? Sorry.
Well, I agree that the season of Boba Fett and then this season of Mando feel very similar in that it feels a little disjointed.
And by the way, this is just me saying this is why I didn't enjoy it that much. You know, hopefully I hear other opinions, maybe I'll hear similar
I think
opinions.
the baseline is that this was not a waste of a watch.
No.
Like
Agreed.
I enjoyed the season of Mando, but when you start to kind of like poke at this or pull at the seams or poke at kind of like do something, I can't really argue with those those criticisms.
Before I get into the things that I don't like, if the Kenobi editor does a Mando cut, I'm in. Because it's there. It's just get there in a weird way, and in my opinion, there's a whole character that's got to go.
I still would like to watch that Kenobi cut you're talking about.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But
well,
please,
like
you
with
guys.
this. Oh, so for me,
yeah.
Mandalorian, just the show in general, I think is delightful and fun, and I constantly am humming the theme song in my head, and I love Grogu. The little fucker's awesome. But yeah, this particular season did feel very disjointed. I'm waiting for someone to tell me why we had that whole side story with the Imperial workers trying to retaliate.
I can tell you.
What is it?
For one line that Giancarlo Esposito says in the second to last episode. It's for one fucking line.
What is it?
He says, that study has been lost for now. Because he goes in the brain machine.
Yeah.
They're going to try and get the studies of that guy out.
Yeah, so like
but it's for one fucking line.
They
and
wanted
it
to-
pisses me off.
it was all of that whole side plot was
In fact,
in order
red
to,
lights.
that entire subplot
I'm going sit.
was designed to isolate the scientist because at that point he had chose to defect and wanted to do better. So they weren't going to just immediately hire him to continue with his research. It was convince him to continue with his research and or put him in a place where we can make him continue with his research. It was just... Yeah, it was just...
I thought it was interesting as it was happening.
Oh,
I was actually a little tuned out for this season with the first couple of episodes of Mando. Then this happened, and I was like, oh, this is very interesting for me. And it's like, I couldn't help but picturing the end of the Tarantino film.
Pulp Fiction?
Nope.
We're not going to go through all 9.
Go through all the movies.
No.
Inglourious Bastards, where he carves a swastika onto their forehead so they can't take off their uniforms. And I remember thinking about that with these characters who are working for the Empire, and now they're just, we're going to be good now. You know, so I thought that was an interesting moral quandary that the show was sort of delving into. And then it just sort of got pushed aside.
Someone pointed out this is like a side fact, but somebody pointed out like all of those that defected from the Empire have those pins.
Yeah.
It's Arabesh it's an Arabesh A, like a scarlet letter.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did. Nice.
That's
That's pretty cool.
But it worked.
Clever.
It's pretty clever, right?
Just the one scene when what's the X-Wing pilot, the guy from the
The guy
Rangers
from the grocery show.
Yeah, so when he shows up, I love that show so much. When he shows up and he's telling them about what's going on Navarro, and that dude and the girl is there talking, he notices her pin, and he's just like,
I don't like you.
Ex-empirical ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
And that the thing I was digging about this season in particular is all of that little stuff.
Yeah.
I loved all that little stuff. And that poor scientist boy, like he really just wanted to, he was like, no, I just want to, but yeah, this might work. But and they set him up and all that shit. I was like, oh man, you poor bastard.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck that bitch, man. She got it. God damn it.
Yeah.
That's it. Actually, I hate her, but it's because she's such a good character.
Yeah.
I love Mandalorian. Like I very much enjoy the show. It was a very simple but effective show for 2 seasons that I think peaked perfectly with the end of season 2 of the full journey of this man and his adopted son, or just his ward at that point. Having to let go, like reluctantly care, and then have to, for the benefit of the child, let them go.
Yeah.
That was a perfect 2-season arc. Did I still at that point want more stories with them? Yes. But we had conversations after the season about like, I don't know if I want them to bring back Grogu, because that would almost negate the emotional journey that Din went through, like with the child. Like I don't want them to like just completely reverse it because we want to sell toys, or at least like that's like the worst case scenario of it. But then they did it in Boba Fett, and I'm like, all right, I kind of miss them together, so that's fine. So like, I feel like the further we get from the end of season 2, they keep taking the shine off of how strong the first 2 seasons were for me.
Completely, yes. You articulated it better than I could.
Not bad, just.
I think then also you've revealed your greatest trick. You showed Luke. Where are you going after that?
I mean, I enjoyed it. It's weird. This season specifically felt like a longer version of Book of Boba Fett, where Din and Grogu are just passengers in a story. The story that the season was telling, I found interesting, with all of the Mandalorians coming together, retaking.
Darksaber.
That is a cool story. But I missed focusing
Lone
on
Wolf and Cub.
So like, is it bad? No, I don't think so. Do I feel like the stakes are diminished because I'm not focusing on, what got me in the door? A little bit. Do I think that it's maybe 3 hours worth of narrative stretched out over 8? Yeah. It's getting a little samey. I want them to actually take chances and do stuff. Kill people. Give me stakes. When they kidnapped the 7th episode, they kidnapped Din.
Yeah.
Hurt him. Do something. Make the stakes matter for the rest of the Mandalorians and for the kid, because they all have to progress narratively, and they just.
Yeah, I think the only one they killed was what's his name? Paz. The big dude.
The big dude.
Yeah.
The Gatling gun. Yeah.
Who earned a
Roadblock.
death.
Earned a death.
Roadblock. Yeah, definitely Roadblock.
No, but I feel like it's starting to spin its wheels because they seem to refuse to make narrative choices. How do we put it back in the box every single season? You got to move it forward, or it's going to get boring. No matter how pretty it is, no matter how cool it is, it's still going to get boring if it keeps being the same thing over and over again.
I'll give you. I thought they were going to kill off Ace Wolves. Is that his name? Ace Wolves?
The guy in the ship.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's a wrap for him.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to betray them. He gets up to the top and he's just like, here they are. And like,
Bye.
I thought that there was going to be some sort of twist.
I thought
This is
Right.
the space pirate. not the green guy, but
Yeah.
the other one.
The one that
loses the gunfight happens around him.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna die, and he didn't. You know what?
Although I do like the idea of, oh man, this guy's in the thing and he's aiming for the. I'm gonna destroy it, and then he's just like, boom. Later. Oh right, I have a jetpack.
Oh,
this is cool as
exactly.
shit. I actually was like, all right.
slow motion.
Well
done. Bye. Yeah.
You know what? I was actually one of my actual favorite moments of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Was the what is it? They really did save and gave him a real story. R5D4.
Oh yeah.
I felt so bad for that son of a bitch, man.
Yeah. Droid had a character arc.
Exactly,
Yep.
dude. I'm watching. I remember just sort of watching the whole thing, and years ago I'm watching Star Wars, and I was like, "Do you realize if R5D4 hadn't broken, none of this shit would have happened?"
Yeah.
He's the hero of the whole fucking thing because he sucked. And he was able to, that dude, he got his shine. I felt real happy about that.
Your failure set
Saved
us
the
all
whole
for success.
galaxy.
Yeah.
And the little robots were like trying to get at him, and he starts blasting with his jaw and takes off. I don't know if you noticed, one of them fell off.
Oh no.
The little ones that were like running into him, the one was like,
The little mouse droids are great.
oh my god.
That's just it. It's a show that has so many bright spots, but it stopped servicing its main characters.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it.
I watch it.
I'm enjoying the other characters.
I would everyone say love it, but
yeah.
it's like not about them.
I would have loved this as a comic book because it's not. It's an extra thing.
Yeah.
I wish we could do something different with our non-essential viewing. And I think I wish they just treated it like a spin-off. They just should have said, this is going to be Bo-Katan. This, and then we would have been set up being like, we're not going that way. Oh, there's my two favorite characters guest starring in Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
That, I think, would have been a much better choice to make me happy. Because if I knew going in what we were doing...
Yeah. I don't know, though, because so many people were disappointed with Boba Fett. And they told you it was a Boba Fett show. And then people only liked it when Din Djarin showed up.
Well, that's
was that Boba Fett? Really?
They kind of pulled the rug on that one though, of just it. People seemed to kind of be bored by the pace of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And then Din shows up for two episodes, and
we're
everyone
like,
loved it. It was just if anything, it should have showed you oh, this is the primary focus, and maybe we need to ease back on the other stuff. But then again, you know what? I think you're wrong. I think the best part of all of these shows is Cobb Vanth.
I did love Cobb Vanth.
And he should have his own side show.
Yeah, I would watch a
show
Cobb
up in
Vanth.
every goddamn thing.
Yeah.
I want.
Was it Timothy Olyphant?
Yeah, I want fucking.
He had one. It was called Justified.
Yeah, what's his name? Justified?
Space Justified.
Justified. Either way, I want him everywhere.
You know that's coming back, right?
Yeah, City Primeval. Yeah. Anyway, you've got side characters like that. Who? Oh fuck. Anyway.
Me.
We're not live.
Anyway,
there's.
Yeah, I do dig that, and I wouldn't mind give me a 2-episode Cobb Vanth show, and then give me 2 episodes of I don't know, fucking
Mandalorian.
Yeah, give me some grief. What's his name? Carl Weathers' guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, give me a little. Yeah.
To your point, why the fuck are streaming services following arbitrary rules on content? Why can't it be a 2-night event? Why does it have to be an 8-episode season and it's just?
I thought Andor was only 3 episodes.
Andor?
Yeah, because I think they dropped 3. They dropped the first 3 together, and I was like, "Oh, just 3 episodes? This should be interesting." And then I was like, "No." Somebody was like, "No, it's 10." I was like, "Oh, wow."
But then, you got Marvel doing the special presentation, an hour-long movie.
Oh, those are cool.
That would have been cool.
Star Wars needs to be a little less rigid with their live-action content on Disney Plus or whatever, because maybe we wouldn't have these kind of what's going on with Din and Grogu? Give them 2 episodes every year, and then you've got other episodes. Instead of try and lump it all in because you've only got 8 episodes, fucking do whatever you want. It feels as though we're getting to the point of max creative bankruptcy. Like, just do fun stuff. It doesn't have to fit in a specific box.
I think they also could have flipped a little bit of it about him. I think it could have taken longer for him to get to the waters, right?
Yeah, sure.
You know, and that happened further down the line as opposed to, was it like the third episode? Yeah. He was like, oh, all right, I'm Mandalorian, cool.
I was feeling such a way about his character in the beginning of the third season because, again, we left him off at the end of the second season making a conscious choice to choose his child over his religion by taking the helmet off.
Yep.
That was a path that he got to do that. And then the whole first 5 episodes of this season was reversing that conscious decision by trying to recapture his religion. The 2 seasons before that only ever painted what's it called? The way
Children of Light.
Children of the.
Oh, I forget what they're called. Yeah.
I keep. I don't want
fanatics.
I don't want to just say cult because that's diminishing. But the two
masked ones.
Yeah, the 2 seasons always presented his religion as a hindrance to his emotional connection to the child.
Yeah.
His character's journey was to shed that hindrance and choose the child over. Mm-hmm. But then we reverse it by him trying to recapture the hindrance. So
and bringing someone else into it.
Yeah, narratively, the show told me for 3 years, this is potentially a problem. And then narratively, they're trying to tell me for the whole first half of the third season, oh, no, it's okay, he's going to get it back.
Because what do you think I think the third season was written around the giant Mandalorians versus Giancarlo. I bet that was the first thing written down. It's like, how do we get here?
And also, it was logistically, it was probably written around the fact
and that's
that they
also
didn't
the
have Pedro
best
Pascal
part.
on camera. He was not on camera at all this season. Mm-hmm. Period. And he wasn't.
I didn't think he needed to be.
He wasn't. Well, I'm just saying, like, story choices may be made out of the fact that they didn't have the actor.
Could we do
physically be there?
Could we do for the whole season? Let's just each of us
say what?
He wasn't on set for 99% of this season.
He was doing Last of Us.
Totally missed all of that.
Yeah. Like, he was just...
I didn't know.
It was an actor.
It also doesn't bother me.
Well, no, it doesn't bother me at all. He does all the voice work, and he does...
I mean, as far as I know, he hasn't been on set for any of the show.
If
I have not seen his face, that could just be some dude.
To the point where at the premiere, the other 2 stand-in actors posed with him, like they were on the red carpet.
Oh,
like
wow.
they aren't making it a secret. It's just
okay.
kind of oh well, it took them a year to film Last of Us, so they just had him do ADR and. It was other actors working off of other actors.
Good, give him all the money.
I hope he didn't get a full check for that.
I mean, he does.
That motherfucker ain't get a full check for that.
I mean,
no.
People pay for the name, not necessarily.
God damn it! If you got a full check, and it was these 2 other motherfuckers rolling around and getting thrown around.
No, it's not about what he was paid. It's about making sure that those other 2 guys got paid really well too. That's the.
The producer in me says no.
Yeah.
What's the actor salary? I'm taking a rest. That's what.
That's splitting this shit in thirds.
Yeah.
So let's do this real quick, just for the whole season.
Yeah.
I want each of us to say the good, the bad, and the ugly. Get it? Because Western.
Yeah, I like it.
JD, why don't you start?
Oh my God!
What was the good?
The good was the season finale.
Okay.
Like I was a little bit of a snooze fest going in. Then they sort of recaptured me with the good Nazis, and then the end. I think it really was a lot of fun. I felt like I was watching the climax of a Star Wars film. It felt really big. That big ship's coming down, the big explosion. Everything felt huge. The Mandalorians having jetpack fights with fucking stormtroopers. They fly now. I thought that was so cool. And those stormtrooper outfits, like my favorite stormtrooper is the speeder trooper. Yeah. These guys are even cooler than that. Yeah. The helmets are dope. They look Mandalorian-esque. It's very cool. And I like that it starts to tie in stuff directly to the sequel trilogy. All the cloning, Palpatine's cloning, all that sort of what have you. All of the diddle dicks online are like, they're gonna get rid of the sequel trilogy by using the world between worlds or some other whatever that thing's called.
Star Wars will never and does never do alternate universes.
Retcons,
yeah.
Except for the Ewok adventure.
That's Legends. They just
Sorry, bud.
I love that movie.
But yeah, I thought the end of it
Battle
was
of-
awesome.
Battle
And I actually got a little choked up since we're doing spoilers. The big explosion happens. Moff Gideon gets toasted. And I see Bo-Katan Kryze. She's like, hold on, I've got this shield. We'll be fine.
6 inches
and
of
I was
your
like,
face will be okay.
yeah, I was like, if they're fine because of that shield, fuck you.
Yeah, right.
But then you see little Grogu doing the whole big force
That's
what
Is
happened.
Gideon-
And I was like,
Is Gideon dead?
I see. I'm of the same
He's
idea
in
you
full
are.
Beskar.
Yeah.
he should be fine.
Yeah, he should be fine.
as long as
But
flames
he gotta
don't go
go-
up that mask.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so the sound design every time other Mandalorians you don't hear it, but every time he put his helmet on, you heard like a pressurized.
No, you hear
that's
it with other ones.
great.
You do hear it with other ones.
You hear it with him. You hear it with Bo, but
I've
a
heard-
bunch
I
of the other
remember hearing
ones,
it a
it's
couple
like,
times.
yeah.
I don't know if everybody gets that,
Yeah.
but I remember hearing it, and I was like, are those pressurized?
Also, when he moves,
just
he
mentioned
sounded
he's
kind of
in
robotic. He was like, there was sort of
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his,
Well, the Vader vibes.
Fucker's
Yeah.
not that
Right.
strong, but
Yeah.
he is in that suit.
his suit felt like Iron Man armor, like extra, strongy sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It like when him and Jin were fighting, it was like Iron Man versus a knight.
Yeah.
You know, that's
I felt
how
like there was like an exoskeleton in there. Yeah.
You know what he looked like though? And I'm gonna show my age here. You remember the Micronauts?
Yeah, of course.
Remember the main bad guy with the red thing that shot out of his chest? Yeah. He looked exactly like that dude. I was like, holy fucking shit, it's Micronauts.
Pretty good.
At first, I thought he looked a little bit like Batman because he had just like these little, and then I was like, oh, it's a crown.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of
But
the
you know what,
bad.
let's stay positive.
good
though.
Okay.
Let's
Just
do all the
all
goods
good?
first.
All good.
Yeah.
All good.
You
Wait.
guys want to go first?
How much time we got?
Oh, you got it anytime you want, but
Oh.
we're doing good stuff. So
What's the good?
The good for me was I love the armor so much. And I love the jetpack fighting.
Yeah.
And the fact that the stormtroopers weren't really good at it.
Yeah.
And so you got that one part where I forget who it was. She lands, slides,
Yup.
falls off the
Oh,
joint,
that's
and turns around and starts shooting.
She also deflects with her knee. Like
Yeah.
that was actually I rewound that
Yeah.
because she goes low, slides, turns around, deflects with her knee, and shoots.
As she's falling down,
But they did that like 10 times this season,
Yeah,
where they actually
yeah,
showed
they-
people functionally use.
use like just the best, like the
flying knees
whole armor.
and
Yeah,
shit with
I
the-
love
yeah.
that.
Even
I
when
love
when
it.
she was going head to head against Dude for the
Yeah.
dark saber.
Yeah.
For the dark saber.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she like jumps up using the jetpack and then fucking comes down
against
on him.
Little Robot Man?
No,
Or are you talking about the
Rex,
the
Axe,
duel?
Axe,
Rex.
is it
Yeah.
Axe? Rex? Axe?
But you're talking about the duel.
the
Yeah.
duel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
I-
leadership.
That's my favorite part is like the combat style of the Mandalorians.
That's
I
pretty
love that shit.
Yeah.
Plus the part when the one dude's kid gets kidnapped and they're all chasing after
Yo.
the big crazy
And
dinosaur.
they all
That's
run out of gas.
great. And they run out of gas.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like all right.
That's pretty cool.
I'm gonna put a pin in that for things that
Didn't like.
Yeah,
bad,
yeah.
but good.
Seemed inconsistent.
What?
The fact that they were running out of gas and chasing that little monster
Oh, no.
felt inconsistent with him flying all the way up to that ship.
Well, here's the thing. They were probably just chilling, right? So maybe your jetpack's not full.
Also-
They just on the
wait.
planet kicking
I
it.
see.
Also, a little culty cult maybe don't have like as many refills as the whole fleet.
That's true.
With
Yeah.
but anyway, that's headcanon. When you have to have too much headcanon to make
Yeah.
something make sense, it's probably there's a bit of a problem. Like even one quick line of like, "Good thing we can refill so often." Either way, I liked. I mean, quality-wise, like it's a beautiful show.
Yeah.
The special effects, the set design, there have been other productions that use the massive that don't do it nearly as well. Like it's
I don't even know it's there. Like I never
It's a very.
get taken out.
Yeah, you're right. I don't get taken out either.
It's what I mean. Like production-wise, it is the best-looking show on Disney Plus. Well, no, that's not true. Andor looks better, but that's because it's like real.
Yeah.
It is the best-looking show in this kind of pocket of Star Wars. The action's really good. Even though I don't get them as much this season. I love Din, and I love his relationship with Grogu, and every time that it progresses, even though it doesn't happen that often, it's still really enjoyable, and I still root for it.
Oh.
I liked a lot of the side characters. No cop bands.
I forgot to mention one of my favorite bits of the entire. No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to me, that's a joke. That's
making
fun.
him a Krang suit.
It's a well played joke for Star Wars universe too.
Yeah.
It progresses both of those characters. That is not about let's put him in a robot because it's funny. That's about putting Din in a position where he can't control every choice that this child makes and has to let go a little bit. That is about progressing those two characters forward. So that, even though it's a jokey bit, that had more meaning to me than maybe 3 whole episodes at the beginning of the season.
But it also does my favorite thing: set up, pay off.
Yeah.
You gotta pay it off. That's basic writing, and it pays off. And like, I'm gonna save my dad in this.
Yeah, he gives him a little bit more agency, which is cool. There's a lot of really good stuff in this season, but the parts don't.
Also, Babu Frick saying, "Fuck, I'm out, motherfuckers." That was pretty cool.
Who didn't go? Good.
I haven't done good.
Good.
For me, the good is masked combat and masked acting. This goes directly in line with the next thing I'm going to say. But all of the masked content, whether it's the story beats that are involving them, all geared up, ready to go, doing things, having activities, is great. Din is great the whole time. And I would extend masked to also creature. Creatures are good. Masked is good. To go into my bad requires me to say casting on this show, unmasked, was abysmal and took me completely out of the show on so many occasions I can't even count. My number one, though, is Katie Sackhoff, the voice, I like. Katie Sackhoff, the actress, you are not a leader, honey. You do not look like someone who can lead this team. I said it while I was sitting here watching. I said, I don't believe you. I don't believe her performance at all.
I don't know. I love
and a
Star
big
Wars.
reason is, here's why. In a post-HBO Watchmen world, where we had Sister Midnight, a character I believed 100% would have led an organization, kicked a shitload of dudes' asses. I can't have pretty girl not looking like Warrior and not acting like Warrior and not commanding respect. Pulled me so far out of the show, it was really upsetting. This happens the second time in casting. And a lot of people were coming at Jack Black and Lizzo. Jack Black and Lizzo played their characters great.
Yes.
They played their characters wonderfully.
I'd watch a 2-episode show just that
Me
plan.
too.
Yeah.
That episode, though, Christopher Lloyd, that was a mistake.
He was pretty bad.
What are you doing?
Yeah, he was
He's not. It was really, I don't believe them. And the problem in this show, the bad for this, and why it was such a struggle, is I didn't believe anybody, and I don't believe Haircut. I don't care what her name is from episode 3. I don't believe her.
Oh.
Tim Meadows pulled me
Especially-
out more than Lizzo did.
Who?
Tim Meadows pulled me out.
Oh,
more
Tim
than
Meadows.
I love seeing Tim Meadows.
I
That
love
dude is very
his
good.
character was
Did you
fine.
see in Poker Face? He was perfect.
Oh my god.
But here I was
Everything about
like,
that was perfect.
oh, it's Tim Meadows being Tim Meadows in a show, as opposed to like. I didn't feel that
But
way
doing a
with Lizzo.
job that a
Yeah.
Tim Meadows could do, the
Yeah.
Katie Sackhoff
Yeah.
one, that's really tough.
I didn't
I
bother
have
me.
no problem
Keep
with
her in
it.
a
I didn't
mask.
bother me.
I'm okay. If you take the mask off, I do not believe her for a second that she can lead those troops in a war. Especially when you have that's just a casting error.
Did you
to me.
watch the show?
I love her voice.
Did you watch the cartoons?
Yeah, I know she's the voice of the character.
Oh no! And I was gonna ask that. I was like, my feeling? I did not watch the shows. My feelings of it. What I got out of it was she is a former princess turned assassin turned warrior turned this. So like she still has that kind of.
But listen to her voice. Listen to
regality
her. But
No,
listen to her
I-
voice in the Clone Wars.
I didn't.
I
have
hear
a
the general there.
I didn't have a disconnect or a problem with it. She's fine. But I wondered, having watched the shows, is that positive or negative, and how much the live action version works for you? That's all I was going to ask.
And then the big thing, my final bad thing, is also at the same time a good thing, which is Giancarlo Esposito was acting circles around her, and it would you're not.
I mean,
you have to
around
be at
everybody.
his, but you have to be. You have to be a Cranston to go up against an Esposito and have it work.
Yeah.
She was out of her league. Yeah. And it's because of how great a performance he has given in every second of the show he's been in.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say on that.
The only moment in that whole final fight that threw me out was when he took off her mask. I'm like, it didn't need to happen.
Yep.
Because
would have believed it more if they kept it on.
It felt fabricated in we're paying for this actress, we must show her face.
Well,
it was the most MCU thing ever.
Right.
And that's my problem with the duel as well.
Because they don't do it with the other characters.
Her mask shouldn't be off during that duel. Because the second she gets smashed into a spaceship, and I know what I'm saying, but in the rules of the show, you can be knocked unconscious and your head can be fucking smashed.
I think they maybe would have
put her in the mask and I'm okay.
Now, to be fair, every single stormtrooper in Star Wars gets hit with a stick and falls over unconscious.
Well, stormtrooper armor is.
But she's unarmored on the head, and it's really hard to unsee once you see it. Of like, okay, so this is essentially two people having a little fist fight with like rockets and things, but there's a tackle that happens, and I'm like, what are we even doing? Stop trying to make me think this is a powerful
In the first
character.
2 seasons, there was a commitment to people's armor and to like the costume acting. This season, they wanted to show her face and a bunch of her cohorts too.
But also her in the mask with the sword is great. I'm gonna give her that, but that's not her.
Yeah.
But I think that's necessary. Yeah. Like because that was specifically their thing. And like that separated them from the rest of the Mandalorians.
From the Mascalorians.
They were the Unmascalorians. And so, you had to see her face more, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like.
Did you have bets?
I wanted to. I think that one episode where they with the Imperial dude and the chick that set him up and all that it dragged. Yeah. But you know me, I'm a relatively happy dude. I was just like, that last episode, it made me so happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. I did want them to, part of me wanted them to be like, wait, you showed me this mythosaur in like episode 3 and nothing?
No mythosaur?
Nothing? All right, you're saving it for the next season? Okay, cool. Fine. Okay.
Yeah,
and by the way, before I get like slammed for like, oh, you don't like it because it's a girl. No. If it was the chick with the 2 hammers, I believe every bit of her as an assassin.
The armor is the girl. I just love the fact that she showed up in a motherfucking flying ass spacesuit fight with 2 hammers.
Yeah.
Just busting balls.
fucking blasters.
Just busting cats. The one joint where she threw the hammer at the ball, I was like, bitch, that thing doesn't return. You gotta go get that.
That's not Mjolnir.
She just, I was like, that's a bad motherfucker.
I have no problem with Katie Sackhoff at all on the show. I've loved her. I've loved her since Battlestar. I think she can do anything and everything. But it was very MCU of like taking the mask off and you see her face. I'm like, okay, we get it.
Didn't bother me. That didn't bother me.
But things that I did not like. I am so fucking tired of fighting a big monster out of nowhere. It happens like 3 times this season, and it happened like 1,000 times the last 2 seasons.
And this time it kidnaps a kid.
I'm just tired of. It seems as though it's like we're not sure what to do. You know, like how the hardest thing to do in sketch comedy is to like end a sketch.
Yeah.
It seems like just scene transitions are a big monster shows up, and the Mandalorians have to fight it. And I'm tired of that.
If Cobb Vanth fights it though.
Well, he's only done it once so far, so he gets like maybe 2 more times. But if every single scene he's in has to end or start with "need to kill this big monster," come on. Unless that's their job, it struck me it struck me this season like, cool. They're praying a big monster comes out of the water, and that's a 10-minute sequence with no main characters, and it doesn't progress the plot whatsoever. Cool, they get there, same group gets captured, but at least that one had stakes for a character.
The
of
kid.
her becoming like, no, fuck the kid. It's just her proving to the rest of the Mandalorians that they will allow her to kind of like be a part of the covert. That had stakes. Every other time, like, I'm just tired of big monsters.
I didn't even think of it, but that may have been why I was a little snoozy through the first couple of episodes of the season.
Nothing happened.
There was
literally
just,
nothing happened, and that is my biggest bad of all of these shows.
That you're ugly.
They don't have to. I have that problem. They don't have to. They don't have to be 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Do something. It's literally table dressing for 7 of the 8 episodes with like little peaks here and there, and then a big old bombastic ending. And as much as I enjoyed the ending, it's just like the pacing throughout sucked.
Yeah.
So it's still got that, lost a little shine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Bad?
Oh, did I do my bads?
Nope.
Oh shit, my bads. Oh, that's my bad. Do I have bad? Oh, the beginning. I think the beginning of the season. I think I was just a little snoozy. I was just like, for some reason, I'm not emotionally involved in any of this. I was enjoying it because I enjoy some Star Warsing. But other than that, I was just like, this is fine, I guess. But then the episode with the Nazis, the Empire cats showing up, I was like, oh, this is actually sort of interesting, and it's
it was
proposing an interesting conversation that I don't think we get a lot with this show.
It was new information, even though they were all new characters, like how they integrate defective Empire, just doing their job type people into the New Republic, because you're not going to just like murder everyone.
Yeah, but then I just felt like it didn't have a payoff.
Not this season.
Yeah, so
which
maybe
is its own problem. Like,
But it definitely set up I don't even know her name. That chick, the double agent broad.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like her.
And I'm like, I don't like her as a character. She's a fucking bitch. But I love her, what she's doing. Like, all right, cool. Yeah, I mean, these cats are like, no, the Empire is still here. No, this is still happening. I dug that.
Yeah.
And she got that boy, man. He thought she was kind of cute. He's like, she gonna let me do my little cloning. Hey, girl, what's your... wait, what? Huh?
Why is this thing on my head? Hey, hey, hold on a second.
Put on this hat. It's cute.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Poor bastard.
It was overall. I don't know if season 1 and 2 were A's. This was like a B minus.
Yeah,
it was still good, but yeah.
All right.
So the ugly, real quick. We'll just do like a rapid 1 minute. The ugly for me is that weird little alien that kidnaps Din is great. The way it looks, its weird little eyeball, the way it dies, that is like creatures, man. They were on point with creatures.
Oh my god.
In a big bad way. Even the stupid love story between the fish people.
Yeah.
Like
that was
the
awesome.
look of the creatures is great.
Yeah.
That was so much effort and character investment for
30
no
seconds.
fucking payoff, and I loved it.
Yeah.
My wish is use more aliens and less
humanoids.
You're going to solve all of your problems that you have from internet world too. Just make them all aliens.
Well, I mean, in general, I think a lot of our science fiction should be more like alien based.
Yeah.
They were talking about that with the Dungeons and Dragons movie. It's like, cool. I mean, the whole party's great, but none of them, they all are humanoid.
Totally.
Maybe we can go with a little, like a monster person or this or that, like diversify it a little bit.
Make it
because
ugly.
you literally have nothing but your creativity and you limit yourself constantly.
Yeah. I agree with what you said. I'm using yours.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, with the ugly, I think that the shows are spinning their wheels, and I think it's diminishing returns. There needs to be something substantial or shake up the format in order for me to stay as attentive as I want to be, or as invested as I want to be.
I think that's very much a Disney thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because to this day they don't know what to do with a villain. They haven't known what to do with a villain, and Moff Gideon is probably the best villain that's been introduced in decades.
Yeah.
And even
I like Ben Solo.
Yeah, but even him,
That's true.
He couldn't stay a villain.
That's true. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's a good point.
The third sister couldn't stay a villain.
Yeah.
Like,
I love the third sister.
Was dope.
But she didn't
was
stay a
But
villain.
she doesn't end her
Yeah,
story.
Yeah, that's
as a
why
villain.
I like her.
But I want them to create a villain
Same thing with Killmonger.
and let them
Same
stay
thing with
a
Darth
villain.
Vader.
What's that?
Same thing with Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, I love.
I-
And that's the
agree
thing
with
I
you.
love about Moff Gideon. Like, that dude's like, no, I run this shit,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
I think they're introducing Thrawn into this.
Oh,
like,
that's right.
Yeah.
They might be
better
just
not
like
fuck
clearing
that
it.
up.
Well, because Thrawn is going to be like the big bad for all of this Mando shit, this Mandoverse shit, right?
They better not fuck that up because Grand Admiral Thrawn was a son of a bitch.
Yep.
I'm just starting the novel. Thrawn.
Oh my god! All right, wait, the new one?
The original.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And then just to end on a high note, justice for Jar Jar.
Oh,
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
The
at
actor.
best.
The actor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But also-
that's right. Yeah, he was.
But also, fuck all of y'all for making that man want to commit suicide because he was in a Star Wars. Like, fuck off. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought of Mandalorian Season 3. Terry, where can they find you?
I'm at the Video Content Factory. Just look us up.
Okay, Randy.
BoomBapTherapy.com. Check us out.
No.
You can find me every Wednesday morning on a little podcast called Fresh Floppies, where we talk about spoiler-free conversation. I'm gonna go in every camera where we talk about which one this one. We talk about which one this one. We talk about every conversation, spoiler-free conversations and reviews about comic books that are new this week, but next week for you. But this week for me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will talk at you later.